What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So today I was gonna go over what we've been doing to sleep train Alana. Basically, for the first 5 months of Alana's life, we created good sleep habits by taking the Taking Care of Babies course, the newborn Will I Ever Sleep Again course, and then the 3 to 4 month bundles. I took it when she was about 6 weeks old. I was just like, not getting any sleep, and at the time I was doing it by myself because my husband was in training. So it was just one of those impulsive buys, but ended up being the best thing I could have ever purchased. Around 3.5 months, that's when Alana went through her 4-month sleep regression. It lasted about 2 weeks, and then from 4 months on, she's been sleeping 12 hours straight and no middle of the night wakings. No middle of the night wakings. We actually weaned her off her middle of the night feedings really early on around that time as well. So she hasn't had a middle of the night feeding since about 4 months old. And then recently, over the last week, there were a few days where she would wake up at 5 in the morning, 4 sometimes, and it would just be so bad that we would just be like, okay, I guess we're up, and we'd just be up from that point on, and that's just no way to start a day, if I'm being completely honest. After she would have one of those early mornings, we would have really bad days of naps. Her naps weren't too predictable, but they were pretty consistent as far as like the length of the nap, and it was just becoming where she would take a 30-minute nap and then be done with it. And I do not miss those days, because before they're 5 months, they don't really know how to connect their sleep cycles. So I think around 3 months, Alana was taking 20-minute naps. And it was just the most frustrating thing ever, because you can't really do much in 20 minutes. I can barely curl my hair in 20 minutes. But yeah, so I had 3 days of that last week, and I was just like, nope, I'm not going through this again. I knew at some point we would need to take the ABCs course, which is the last course that Taking Care of Babies offers. And I don't know, 5 months hit, and I was just like, well, she's sleeping 12 hours. Like, there's no reason for us to have to buy that if everything's fine. But everything started to look like it wasn't going to be fine. And I was just like, what if 5 a.m. turns in 3 a.m. and then 2 a.m. and I'm just not ready to go back to the waking up every few hours thing. So we took the course, and last night was night 2. The first night she did pretty well. She only cried for about 25 minutes. And I know you hear that and you're like, 25 minutes? Seriously, Kayla? So it does include like reassurance, check-in, letting her know that like we are here and we didn't just put her in the crib, go out in the patio and drink a bottle of wine. Like, that's not what we did. So we really kept it to where she knew that we loved her, she knew that we cared for her, and because she had those good sleep habits, I think it really worked for her that, okay, I have to put myself to sleep, because we didn't like rock her to sleep where she was like asleep in our arms. I didn't nurse her to sleep, anything like that. We had already set the expectation for her that she was going to be laying down in her crib, awake but drowsy. So because she had those good sleep habits, I think that's why she did so well. We had already set up the expectation that we are not rocking her to sleep to the point where she's asleep in our arms, or I wasn't nursing her to sleep, anything like that. We always just kind of rocked her for a little bit and then put her in her crib where she was still, like, her eyes were still open, and she would fall asleep. But whenever she would wake up, or if, you know, we had just laid her down and 20 minutes later she's still like rolling around, we would go back in there and we'd rock her again, and then it would kind of be a battle sometimes. And that was just the habit that we all got into. And then I found out after doing this the last couple days, my husband told me, well, I've been rocking her like in my arms and I've been letting her fall asleep. And I'm just like, no, that's not what we do. I'm like, I've never laid her down to sleep. But you know, I think she just kind of learned who would do that and who wouldn't. So now we are on the same page. We are taking the next 14 nights to really be consistent, and that's a huge part of it, is consistency in your why. Now, because we live in a 1-bedroom apartment, this is where it gets tricky. Kara really wants your baby to be in their own space. Just for these 14 nights, you really want to have their own space. So specifically mamas, they can smell you and they need that comfort. And if you breastfeed, it's just like that much worse. We live in a 1-bedroom apartment. She doesn't have her own space. Her crib is literally like less than 2 feet away from the edge of our bed. So it just wasn't gonna work. So we've been camping out here on the couch for the last 2 nights, and we got 12 nights to go. But like I said, she's been pretty good as far as crying. Now the first night, like I said, she cried for 25 minutes, which she doesn't really cry when she's going to bed. She doesn't like scream out, wail out, anything like that. What she'll do is she'll just like nah, nah, nah. That is her crying. So she'll do that for a little bit, and then she'll like, so Kara teaches you this, it's a roller coaster. So she'll do that a little bit, and she'll come down and she'll just kind of doing it now. I don't know. You can see. But yeah, she's awake. She's like looking for me. So you can hear the sound machine. She woke up at 52. I'm gonna BRB because she woke up from her nap a little early. Can you say hi? See, I'm still in my jammies. You're still in my jammies. You're so silly. She's pretty smiley when she wakes up from her nap. So the first night she did cry about 25 minutes, off and on for 25 minutes. And then yesterday she cried for about 19, 20 minutes. So I don't think it's terrible. Like, I do feel like it would have been really hard for me if it was like hours. Now the first night she did wake up, I think around 1 or 2. She woke up around 2. And she typically doesn't wake up around 2. So I don't know what happened, but she did wake up, and we did implement the steps that we were taught in the course. And it did take her, I think, like an hour and 2 minutes to go back to sleep. Again, we're not letting her straight cry for an hour and 2 minutes, but we are just letting her do her thing, letting her try to fall asleep independently. It's definitely working for her. I can see her trying to do it herself, and I think that for a long time she's probably had that skill or had the capability to do the skill, but I don't think she was ready, like developmentally, and I definitely wasn't ready. So I don't know, might just be ahead of the game and needed us to let go of the strings a little bit, right? Oh my goodness. The reason we're doing sleep training, we really need the rest. It's not that we were getting restless nights. I almost like feared restless nights. As soon as I got even just a little preview of those 3 days last week, I was just like, nope, we're not going back. I'm not waiting until I haven't slept in months. I'm just not doing it. I'm gonna purchase the course now. I'm gonna make sure that we're good. We are committing heart and soul into this. Sleeping on the couch is no easy thing. My husband was like, well, she just smells you, so can I go sleep in the room? And I'm like, no. So really it's about doing it what's best for her and what's best for us, and having a why, because that's going to help you. Trust me, it helps you at 2, 3 in the morning or 1 in the morning where you're just like, I can't like hear her cry another second. That's so heartbreaking. Or if you're just so tired, you'll do anything to go back to sleep. That why, that mantra will get you through that hour or 20 minutes or whatever it may be. But that's why we're doing it. That's the steps that we've taken. There's just so much helpful things in those courses. I can't rave about it enough. Thanks for watching my mommy's video. Alright guys, well, thank you for listening to my rant about sleep training. Go ahead and click subscribe and the little bell next to it so you can get notified the next time I upload. I am going to try to upload more frequently. It's just a little hard because look at this cute little face. But I will try to do more videos. And then if you have any ideas, definitely leave a comment down below. And say bye. Bye guys.